Previously on Gutter Trash.
I was almost going to call you an infidel. That made no sense at all.
You swine. Schweinhund.
Schweinhund. See, 1,000 people there.
Yeah, but it was like...
Half of them gay.
Yeah, but it was like...
The other half in sweatpants.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you're not gay, you're probably wearing sweatpants.
And then the third half, hot chicks.
Yeah, and but my favorite part was it was like some 80s rap video because it was like 20 black people and 20 white people and they were all like laughing and bowling and hugging each other, and some of them were gay and some of them were straight, and it was just like this melting pot of... It was like this PC bowling party.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
And then there was you and me.
Yeah. And a couple other sweaty dudes.
Yeah. Are you talking about just in our group?
In our group,
Okay,
yeah. Yeah. Get one of those, like, squeezy balls.
I kid.
I don't know
because I
how-
love.
Oh, yeah.
I don't love. I really don't. I'm an asshole.
He had his kids at the Gym City show.
He has kids?
3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just thought he had the dog.
No, he only loves the dog.
Oh, okay.
Hates the kids, apparently.
Alright, here we go again.
Just like David Coverdale.
Oh, yeah.
Except for we're not on our own, we're together.
That's true. Well, we could be on our own, but together.
Yeah.
That's
possible.
Walking down that lonely road we've ever known.
Like a drifter, I was born to
We
walk alone.
were born
We were born to walk
To
alone.
walk alone, yeah.
Hey, how can we walk alone?
Because we're gay.
Syntax error.
Or that. Gay,
Yeah.
syntax error.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. So, this is Gutter Trash episode...
28?
I think you might be right.
I think it's 28.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Had to search the data files into my head.
Yeah.
Yes. Ah, man. Audio seems really low. I'm hating this. But I'm not going to restart because that was kind of an awesome opening so far.
No. Is that the best? That's the best we can do, unfortunately, probably.
Unfortunately, our idea of awesome is,
We don't hope for home runs, we hope for a bloop down the first base line.
hopefully, yeah.
We just hope for Bill Buckner to, let it go through his legs. Right.
I was watching some baseball earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cubs?
Cubs and the Reds at the same time.
Different games.
Different games.
Yeah. I was because they played a couple weeks ago.
I went over to my parents' house because today is Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yes, and to you as well.
All right.
You actually have kids, though. I don't.
I have, pets.
Well,
A dog and a cat.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah. Now we're too loud.
Mm.
Motherfucker. Anyway.
This is a volume nightmare.
It is. It seriously is. But yeah, I went over and, my dad was sitting in the kitchen watching the little kitchen TV, but positioned so that he could see the living room TV.
Ooh, okay, nice.
The little kitchen TV had the Cubs game, and the big living room TV had the Reds game.
Okay. See, I thought it was going to be like the kitchen TV, he was watching, like some religious programming, and then, the living room TV was like, the sporting event, the equivalent of like in high school when you have like a Doom Patrol comic in your science book,
Nah.
I thought he was like cheating and like pretending as if he was watching some quality programming.
Neither of my parents would ever allow religious programming in that house.
Right. That's probably good.
Yeah. So, no, yeah, he, and also, the fact that I, preambled this whole conversation by saying I watched 2 baseball games at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, that should have given you the hint of where I was really leading with this.
Well, That required me to pay attention. And...
Apparently so. I'm sorry to put so much pressure on you.
It's just not my bag, really. Paying attention. I'm a tired dude.
Yeah, well. You do have a fully active and busy social life, so.
Oh, not really.
According to your calendar. You know.
My calendar's crazy. Wow, and my calendar's full of names and times.
Yes. But anyway, as I was saying, I was over at my parents'. My dad was watching the Cubs game in the kitchen and the Reds game in the living room.
Right.
Because apparently Time Warner Cable, it gets WGN.
The Cubs channel.
The Cubs channel. But does not... But when you switch to the channel using the digital high-definition cable box, it says channel is unavailable.
Huh.
But on the kitchen TV, which is just regular standard cable, gets it.
See? The pesky technology.
Yeah,
backfiring again.
Yep. He said this has been this way for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I watched 2 baseball games.
Nice. Who was winning? Cubs?
Cubs won their game,
nice.
4-2 against the Brewers.
That's great.
The Reds lost in overtime, 8-7 to St. Louis.
Well, that's pretty good. That's a good game, though.
Yeah. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Reds tied it up 7-7.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and then Cardinals beat.
I think I would have ran and got another order of nachos if I would have been at that game.
Yeah.
You know? Because of the excitement.
Right. I don't think you would have had time to get the nachos and eat them because it only lasted that one.
That's true. That's true. That's why they need the guy going around all the time, not just like twice a game.
Right.
They need all. Like,
it's a big stadium, and that guy has a lot of people to catch up to.
Well, it's true. Well, they need more guys. That's all. I remember I went to Ozfest years ago.
I'm sorry.
Well, it was a free ticket.
Okay.
And
sorry.
I went with one of my friends and my girlfriend and her sister, and I remember I was like, "You guys want some pizza or something?" And they were like, "Sure, yeah, go get us a couple slices of pizza." And I was like, "All right." And it was between bands.
Yeah.
And I get up and I go get in line to order the pizza, and Primus starts playing. I can hear him faintly in the background, a mile away. And by the time I get my pizza and get back to them, Primus is done with their set. And I was like, this is bullshit. We need a guy going around selling pizza slices.
Yeah.
So, Ozzy, I know you're listening. Make it happen.
Yeah. Does Ozfest even happen anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so as well.
But even if it did, and even if I had another free ticket, I probably wouldn't go.
Right.
Because it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I've sort of decided that I'm never going to go to another big concert.
I don't like the big ones either.
Yeah.
Hank the Third's coming to Kentucky in a couple months.
I don't consider that a big concert. It's bigger than, like, when we go see Blackwell fight.
Right.
Yeah, because there's, like, you, me, and Pat.
And the band.
And the band.
Yeah. The sound guy, too.
And the sound guy, and
the waitress.
the bartender.
Yeah, the waitress is there. She always shows up.
Yeah, the person at the door collecting
right.
the money.
That's usually the same as the waitress.
It's true. That's very
or
true.
the sound guy.
Oh, the same, yeah. That also is also only if it's not a free show. Which they do quite a bit of free shows.
Because they do it for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They are the kids. We are the kids. We're all the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are all right.
They're doing it for the kids, but we're showing up.
Yeah.
Because none of the kids will.
Right. The kids have better things to do.
Well, the kids are asleep.
Yeah, or playing their iPods. Or whatever.
Right, or listening to better music.
Oh my gosh.
No, I love Blackwell Fight.
You know,
they're awesome.
They announced at their last show that their CD's almost done, and they're gonna... I think originally it was going to be a double CD because they recorded a lot of music, but I think they're going to release them separately now.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
double CD, first time out from...
Kind of pretentious?
Kind of pretentious already from a kind of pretentious band.
Right. In a good way.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're great.
Right.
I think they're awesome. They've got a lot of skill and talent.
I know what you mean. There's a little pretense there.
They're an instrumental, fusion-y, jazzy, rock, whatever. the guitarist doesn't wear shoes.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
They've incorporated keyboard in the last set, at least.
Well, didn't, when Pat... Is Pat still in the band, or is Pat not in the band?
I think he's an honorary member. He's like whenever,
Whenever he feels like showing up?
Yeah. He's like that Lost Allman Brother, or like that Kiss drummer that shows up for a couple, reunion shows or something.
Okay, yeah. Not Peter Criss.
No, the other one. Eric Carr? No, he's dead.
Singer. Eric Singer.
No, he's the drummer. What?
That's what we said.
That's right. Okay. I'm confused. Oh, Singer is the drummer. We're like doing a who's on first thing.
Okay, I get what you're. I'm an idiot.
I'm not paying attention.
I didn't get the joke.
Oh yeah, joke. That's what it was. I'm not just being dumb.
I would safely say, except for when we're reviewing something, like 99% of everything we say is a joke. For anyone listening who doesn't get it.
Okay.
Which I'm hoping that the people who listen get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Like Pat, when he listens to the last episode where I called him a cocksucker and a faggot.
Right.
Yeah. He'll hopefully know that I'm just joking.
He'll be drinking his chai tea and he'll laugh so hard he'll snort out of his nose.
Right.
Spit tip. I hope so. All over his computer monitor.
Exactly. And then he'll sue us because we'll have to buy a new computer.
You can just take it to the Mac Depot and have it fixed. Where it'll be recycled and he'll buy a new one. Right?
Yeah. Okay. And of course they'll charge him, $100 just to take a look at it.
And they'll be snippy.
Then tell him that, it's broken.
Mm-hmm. And they'll be very snippy.
Yep. Because Mac people are cocks. What?
I just know that one dude at the Mac Depot is the first man I've wanted to bitch slap in like 15 years.
Yeah.
So.
And I've been to your work. There's quite a lot of people who come in and out of there that are...
deserve a bitch slap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for you to say that he's the first one that you wanted to do in like 15 years, that's pretty bad.
My tolerance level is high for bitch slappies.
Yeah. I've been to your work, and there are a lot of annoying people who come in.
And stay till 8:30. Even though we close at 8.
Yeah. I'm one of them, but, I'm not there buying anything. You can kick me out at any time.
Exactly. Yeah, you're like, at least I'm not buying anything.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not that guy. I swear we were talking about something.
Cubs, baseball, Mother's Day, Black Wolf Fight, CDs, music, cocksuckers, bitch slapping, Max, Pat, listeners, jokes, Kiss, singers, drummers.
It was somewhere in there. I think you covered our whole set.
Yeah.
And you should just put that on the previously.
Well, you know how we do this show. There's usually a previously of fake clips of us not really talking about anything. Mm-hmm. And there's our theme song, and that leads into us having a rambling conversation where we'll eventually talk about something.
Right.
And then there'll be a musical interlude that, we're probably not allowed to play, but then we'll come back and wrap it up and announce what the next show is going to be about. And then there'll be an outro theme with a girl telling you how to get a hold of us.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's our show.
You kind of nailed it down there.
I totally did.
Wow. It's almost like as if you've listened before.
Almost. I haven't, but it's almost like it.
It would appear to the listener in that way.
That's the trickery of the internet.
Mm-hmm. It's powerful.
It is.
I'm just glad it's not in the hands of evildoers.
Oh, they have the Unternet.
Oh, what is this? Unternet?
Unternet, yeah.
Is this like a German, Romulan kind of thing?
I'm not sure. I've been rereading Final Crisis, all the way through in one shot.
Uh-huh.
Well, obviously not one shot because I'm only in the middle of it.
You're
still.
not finished yet,
right? But according to Grant Morrison, the secret society of supervillains have their own internet called the Unternet.
Really?
Yeah.
They have their own MySpace and Facebook?
They might, I'm sure,
Wow.
Because the superheroes, once Darkseid took over the internet and all the broadcasting frequencies, the superheroes hacked into the internet in order to communicate with each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what goes on their, like, auction sites, like
Right,
their eBay.
Evil Bay.
Evil Bay, right? It's just like katana with Daredevil's blood on it. $49.95, open in bid.
Hardly ever meets the reserve, though.
That's too bad. Yeah, they always,
Yeah.
just snipe in there in the last minute and steal them.
And, wonder, like, what Lex Luthor is twittering about.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook, who's Bullseye's Facebook friends.
The Wrecking Crew's pissed because Absorbing Man's not their friend. And,
right, yeah. He should be, because
he's
a tool.
He's a tool, just like...
Funny.
So we gotta talk about stuff.
I guess we do, yeah. Let's see, this was a book. Wolverine, Logan. By Brian K. Vaughan and Eduardo Risso.
Yeah. It's a very, you hardly ever see the 3-issue miniseries anymore.
Yeah, it's usually 6 or more.
Sometimes 4.
Very rarely even still.
Wolverine Manifest Destiny. Spider-Man X-Men.
I've never heard of that first one. So,
really?
Already there.
No, you're right. 6 is the magic number. So
Yeah.
like sometimes 7.
Sometimes 8.
Yeah.
Occasionally you get a 5.
Yeah.
Like the Skrull Kill Crew mini right now is 5.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hardly ever a 3.
That's not
rare. And I wish there were more 3-issue series.
Yeah, that was a good size.
Yeah.
It's a good size.
Yeah, especially for this, because it wasn't that great.
Oh, I loved it. Wow, this is awesome. Yes. I love it when you hate it and I love it. Or when I love it and you hate it, or when I hate it and you love it.
Okay, well, let's get this straight right off the bat. I don't hate it.
I don't love it.
Oh!
Okay, I do love it.
No, okay, I just dislike it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't particularly, I can't feel strongly enough to hate it, but I certainly did not enjoy reading it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
All right,
get into it.
So, yeah, let's do this up.
Alright.
Ow.
Shirts versus skins.
I'll be shirt.
Alright.
Nobody wants to see me in my skin.
Nobody wants to see me in my shirt, so that works out perfectly.
Exactly. Just as that 17-year-old girl from the workshop.
Hello. Oh, no. No. Not at all.
Real quick, just because. Remember, folks, check out www.totallyteencomics.blogspot.com.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there. There really is. I mean, seriously, I looked at it just the other day. I showed my roommates, and I was like, man, some of these are really good.
Yeah.
Some of these are better than 99% of the stuff I've drawn in my life.
Yeah, some of it is pretty awesome, and I think if the librarian or anyone in charge of the library who hired you to do this somehow links back to us here at Gutter Trash or our own personal blogs, wow, they'll be horrified.
Yeah, they'll be like, well, how did we get hooked up with these Neanderthal potty mouths?
Yeah.
And how did they pretend to be cordial in front of young people?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah. We just get it all out of the way. And we show up and we behave ourselves and we comb our hair to the left and we do a good job.
I did, actually, before we did that, I sat in your car and I screamed a bunch of obscenities for 5 minutes.
I remember that, yeah. On the car ride over.
Yeah.
I was
and then, as soon as we left, I had to do it again just to get back in the groove.
Yeah. I love how easily you transitioned, too, from that version of Earth 3 Eric, or whatever. That was good.
Yeah, thank you.
So, that was fun. Yeah, check it out. I liked it.
Alright, I didn't, yeah. Well, okay. I think it's safe to say that. Did I mention that Brian K. Vaughan wrote it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure Brian K. Vaughan wrote the book. Eduardo Risso drew it, and I think it's safe to say that you have some sort of invisible man crush on Brian K. Vaughan
And Eduardo Risso.
and Eduardo Risso, but
I mean, more so on the Vaughan. Yeah.
yeah.
Why the Last Man I loved. I was lucky enough to not the day issue number 2 came out, there was nothing else for me to buy, and I was like, I'll buy this one. We still have number 1. And I bought those 2, and so I hopped on board, a month after it came out. So I was lucky enough to not hear any hype on Why the Last Man,
Right.
Not word one, and I loved it. It was such a great series, and kind of turned me on to him. I even read some of his Ultimate X-Men's and a couple other things he did. I think he did some. Was it a Batman story, detective story, or something?
Yeah, with Matches Malone.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I like the guy. He's a good writer. Solid writer.
I didn't jump on board on Why until I think it was around issue 15 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So by this point, I had heard all the hype.
Right.
And I decided, well, what the fuck, I'll buy the first trade and see how that goes. And Vertigo trades are generally like $10, so
at least the first one,
they get you. Right, yeah. So I'm thinking, well, whatever, I'm out like $8 after a discount,
Mm-hmm.
And
really, where do you get such a good deal?
I go to a comic shop called Mavericks where they have 25% off of all trades and
Mavericks
novels.
That's right, all the time?
All the time.
Even if you special order them?
Even if you special order them.
Wow, that's the one located at 2312 East Dorothy Lane in the Woodland Plaza, right?
That is correct,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, let's go check it out sometime.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did like like I said, I heard all the hype. I decided, I'll buy the first trade.
Mm-hmm.
And totally lived up to the hype.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, which is a very rare thing.
Yeah, after the hype's out there.
Yeah, and so, as soon as I read that first trade, almost immediately, I went out and bought the second trade, which was the only other one out at the time, and all the issues leading up to wherever the most recent issue was.
Okay.
And then just started buying them.
Kept up with it, right?
Yeah. I will say I totally hated the ending of it, but
I've heard that from a few people. I liked it, but I can see why.
It just sort of, right around issue 40 or so, it just started really dragging. I think it really could have been shortened by 20, 30 issues.
Oh, I gotta wonder too, at what point in this Vertigo series, because every Vertigo series is either 12 issues long or 70. You know?
Right.
And I wonder at what point did he go, okay, this is going to be a 7-issue series, I'm not getting canceled.
Right.
Was it, had he written a bunch of stuff, or did he just kind of have to jump in a direction and go with it? I'm wondering if that maybe had something to do with the middle of it.
I don't know. You bring up a good point, though, because, I remember reading Preacher, and right around the same point in time in that series, it sort of felt like, man, this is just really dragging and not really going anywhere, I just kind of wanted to wrap up,
Right.
And same with Transmetropolitan, and I think the only one that didn't do it was The Invisibles, but that may also be because it was rebooted 4 different times.
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 25-issue series and then a 12-issue series.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a competent writer, and I'm embarrassed to say I still haven't read. A year ago, I bought an Eduardo Risso Tales of Terror horror anthology book,
right?
And it's fucking amazing. I've flipped through it a bunch of times. It's like the style of Sin City mixed with some sort of crazy cartoony horror.
Yeah,
and I love that. I think it's great.
Rizzo, I think, safe to say, in my top 5 favorite comic artists. I did read that book you're talking about because I stole it from your house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is only fair because I was planning on buying it, but then you bought it, and so I said, well, fuck that, and I'll take it back. No,
I'm taking them all back.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman, 1984.
All right.
Whatever year Goonies came out.
Whatever, yeah. So no, I love Eduardo Rizzo, and I loved that book, the Tales of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't love it, but the art was amazing.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the vibe I get. I flip through it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to read any of these stories, but I'll look at them all day.
They're enjoyable. If you've ever been into any of the
Horror porn?
No.
No, not horror porn. I don't know why I said.
Yeah,
I just flipped through. I flipped through it, and there's a lot of nudity.
Well, that's because what he does. Have
Yeah.
you ever looked at an average issue of 100 Bullets?
I've only read the first trade, so I've ever read for that.
Eduardo Risso draws hot women.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one of his things.
Yeah. He likes the ladies.
He likes boobies, and at least if he doesn't like boobies, he draws them well.
Uh-huh.
So
you gotta go with what you know.
exactly, you got to play to your strengths. No, it's not horror porn at all. It's, if you've ever been into like any of the EC horror comics, like Tales from the Crypt, or they're just like really short bursts of like twisted irony, kind of thing. Just
Twilight
Zone-ish, but like gory.
Okay.
But like with that weird sort of
Je ne sais quoi.
no, just maybe, but like just a nice like
campy.
Campy is a good word. Yeah,
like Crypt Keeper kind of.
yeah. It's got like a definite sense of humor about it,
Okay.
but it's also super gory.
Yeah, I
and,
can see that. It kind of
kind of sexy and
right.
just
Everything the kids love.
Yeah,
Humor, death, and ladies.
yeah. But all wrapped in like this gorgeous art.
Mm-hmm. And he is awesome. I love when people have like sort of a what you would call cartoony style,
Right.
but they mix it with something a little darker, a little dirty.
Yeah.
Not dirty like poop stains, but you know what I mean, like just like
Grit.
grit. That's the word. Like Frank Quietly, I think, is my favorite example of that.
Yeah.
He's super cartoony, but
Also in my top 5.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that's the Wolverine Manifest Destiny right there.
Oh, wow. I don't pay attention to the names. It's just like art.
Yeah. It's popped up on our screens. So yeah, good artist, good writer.
Yeah.
Quality packaging.
Yeah. Usually.
Mm-hmm. So what didn't you like? You didn't like how short it was, or just...
No. The length of it, I think, is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we said, 3-issue miniseries is... I think that's the perfect length for any sort of short tale, about any character. Especially a mainstream superhero book.
Right.
I don't think you need 42 issues to tell one story,
Unless you're Ed Brubaker's Captain America.
Right, yeah.
You just told me about that yesterday. I've never read his Captain America. But...
Yeah, I've bitched on the show about, missing, like, trade paperbacks from that run because Mavericks just wouldn't get them in.
Right. It was Diamond's fault.
Well, okay, whatever, but,
that's fair.
I purchased my books through Mavericks. Yeah. Not through Diamond.
Right, well, there's your first problem.
Yeah. And I can look at you and put your face to my problem and just bitch at you.
I'm like what's that? The guy at the desk, the complaint department.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was playing the world's worst game of $20,000 Pyramid right there.
Well,
the guy desk. Guy at the desk.
Hey, we're not doing very good on either side here. So.
Okay.
We need Betty White.
We all need some Betty White.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of Dean White, the colorist of this book.
Oh.
Ironic that the colorist's last name is White. I think he did an amazing job. It looks like it's painted.
Yeah.
Is it Dean White?
I don't know, but
it's Betty White. That's weird.
Wow.
No, it is Dean White.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm gonna say first off, like, I love the art in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I said, Eduardo Risso's top 5. The art in this was always going to be amazing, no matter what I think of the book. And the coloring, I think, really complemented it well. And I know that they came out with a black and white variation of this book, and like, ideally, that's the one I would have liked to have bought.
Right.
But
I think that's so cool that they did that too.
Yeah,
because they realized his strength.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they wanted it to sell, so they made a color version.
Right. So I think, despite the fact that, I would have preferred the black and white, the color version is also pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
Just based on the colors alone. It's got a nice watercolor feel to it.
Oh, yeah. Like all the backgrounds are so... Yeah, it really looks like he did paint this thing. Yeah.
And I'm glad also, because I'm also a big fan of 100 Bullets. And that for 100 issues, is mostly what I've seen Eduardo Risso do.
Right.
And so I'm kind of glad that they didn't just ape whatever coloring style that was used in that book.
Did they do like a kind of monochromatic thing? Or?
Not monochromatic, but very flat tones.
Okay.
Like there's no shading, hardly ever anyway.
Just like blue or red, and that's it?
Yeah, like, skin tone is just, this is flesh color.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. There's no
gradation.
Shades, right. There's no highlights or shadows or anything like that. It's just flat.
I went to the dentist once and there was no highlights, and I was pissed. But at least he had a toy chest.
It's a terrible joke, and I should kick you.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway.
Okay, I like the story because I really like the whole... Like, it reminds me of... There was an X-Men comic I had when I was a kid where I think Wolverine was getting married. I haven't read it since I was a kid.
To Mariko Yoshida?
Possibly. That could have been the one. On the cover, there's like the imitation with a knife through it.
Yeah.
170 something.
Yeah. John Romita Jr. No, Paul Smith.
Oh, yeah, Paul Smith. Wow, nice. But I remember liking that because, I was like, I love Wolverine when I was a kid. He was my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's, probably, when they're kids. Yeah. And it was cool to see this other side of him where, he's all like, he's with a lady.
Yeah.
And this sort of reminded me of that story a lot. And that's one of the reasons I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. When it has that, like, flashback thing where he's with the Asuko, I think her name is, in Japan.
I don't know. You're holding the book right now, so.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think it's Asuko. Asuka, something like that.
It's a Japanese broad.
It's a Japanese broad. Big titties. No, but yeah, I like that because, usually, Wolverine's in like 8 titles a month now, including like Avengers and X-Force and everything. And I don't read much of those because, it just looks fucking boring.
Right. Well, I would say most of them are.
Yeah. But this one I thought it was cool. It has like the violent side of Wolverine and then the ladies' man, James Bond, kind of, yin and yang of Wolverine.
Alright. I don't think it's any secret that I too was a huge Wolverine fan when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chris Claremont, Frank Miller Wolverine series was probably one of my all-time favorite comics for the longest time growing up.
All right.
And so the fact that this still is like not directly, but in a way recalling some of that, I think lessens it in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Lessons what?
The impact of this particular story.
Oh, okay.
There's also other things about Wolverine that I've just really grown to dislike over the years.
His haircut, mostly?
Mostly his haircut.
Yeah. Don't like the haircut either.
But also, alright. Every time there's a new Wolverine miniseries that comes out, or a new Wolverine storyline.
That you mean Wednesday?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Every plot of every Wolverine story is essentially Logan faces an old enemy long forgotten.
Right.
And this will impact the rest of his life.
His past is coming out.
Right. And an old friend of mine and I used to joke all the time that, man, it would be awesome if there would be a Wolverine story where he meets a villain he's never met before.
Right.
This issue, Wolverine meets someone new.
And learns about his past.
Yeah, no learning about the past.
Well, that's how it would go, though.
Well, that's how it would go, and he would know that the guy would be from, 50 years ago, who's also amazingly well-preserved, much like him. It's just... This book seems more of the same bullshit that we get with Wolverine no matter what. It just happens to have 2 high-profile names attached to it. Because it's about Wolverine's past. It's about an enemy who comes back from the past, who fucked up his life in the past.
Right.
Because Wolverine now remembers everything about his past.
But at least it's not like... it was pretty cleanly tied up, though. It wasn't like one of those, what does this mean for Wolverine? His past is... it kind of
Yeah, but it's...
And I shouldn't have said he's a ladies' man, because, clearly he's awkward around the lady, but, it's got his, romantic entanglement. So
right.
That's what I meant to say.
Well, he's a ladies' man now because of the movies.
Oh, yeah. He's got that cash.
As much as I like the first 2 X-Men movies, they really fucked up Wolverine even more. Because now all of a sudden Marvel decided that, well, forget about the fact that Wolverine used to be 5'3", covered in hair, and, a crass motherfucker. Because now he's 6 foot tall, he's got a big cock.
And the ladies love it.
Exactly. And so...
Do you think this helps humanize him and give him a specific character instead of that whole weird government agent programmed soap opera kind of thing?
No, because Chris Claremont did it 30 years ago. Back when he was good. As we've already discussed in the previous episode.
But I like how it has the whole love thing. It even starts out with him talking about he can heal from all these past battles, but the women in his life is what's really scarred him. Yeah. And it ends with this sort of eternal sunshine of the spotless mind moment where he's about to die and he sees the spirit of his deceased lover, and she tells him, he can...
Way to go, spoilers. You flipped right to the last fucking page of the book.
Oh, there's one more page. There's one more page. Granted, there's no words, but I'll get to that one, too. Don't worry. Describe it in detail. But, she basically says, you can come back without the memories of Hiroshima and how horrible, the tragedy was there, but you'll forget about me. And he in my mind, it doesn't really say, it's kind of ambiguous, but I think he remembers, because on the last page you sort of see the flag, in the sunlight.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he chooses to remember.
Yeah, and again, Chris Claremont did this kind of thing 30 years ago, and with less, with more subtlety.
Ooh.
Which is,
wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Claremont subtlety?
Exactly.
I've never heard those.
This is what I'm saying. So there was a point in time Chris Claremont had some ability.
Wow.
And here Brian K. Vaughan just slaps you in the fucking face with it.
Now he just shows up in our one-horse town and signs autographs for fans of Wizard Magazine. Sorry, I was bitter.
Who are you talking about?
Chris Claremont.
Okay, I was talking about Brian K. Vaughan here.
Oh.
That Brian K. Vaughan...
what does he write? Who's that guy?
I quit. Talking anymore. Done.
Brian K. Vaughan. Okay, I'm with you. Brian K. Vaughan. You like that guy. He's no Chris Claremont, though. That's what I'm saying. Do you agree? Oh. You know what I also like about this story? Is this one part here, how he kind of writerly ties it all together. He's talking about the bomb dropping in Hiroshima. This is, again, like the whole war and love thing. He sees the bomb falling, and he says it looks like a teardrop falling from the sky. And like at the very end, spoiler again, when he wakes up from his fever dream, he gets this like one drip of water from melting ice on this tree, and it wakes him up when it hits his head, and that's when he's remembering, obviously his lover. I would say. Hello? You awake? Test 1 2. Oh, that was weird.
Couldn't keep it going anymore.
I just like the whole yin yang of it. I mean, I agree. It's not a brand new thing.
It's just it's pointless. It's pointless, and the fact that it's all set around Hiroshima, and Wolverine's at ground zero when the atomic bomb drops.
Right.
Do we really need that in anything?
That was a little much.
I mean,
I think it worked nice to tie the story together. The whole
thematically for the story it works, but just I mean, if we're really gonna take this as, and I hate to pull the continuity card on here, but if we're gonna count this as something significant that happened to Wolverine, where he lost his virginity and just happened to be at the site of one of the most atrocious acts in humankind.
Well, that's gotta. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, why? Okay, Wolverine. We've both talked about this in the past. Wolverine is a better character when he doesn't remember a goddamn thing about himself. When everything pre-Hulk 181 is just a mystery.
Okay. I agreed.
Yeah. And so, ever since that point, it's like, let's shoehorn Wolverine into every historical significant event. And here's how it went! And of course, the whole Wolverine Origins thing puts him back 150 years or whatever. So that just gives us this huge span of time to just shoehorn him in everywhere. And I think it's fucking ridiculous. And I think it's even more fucking ridiculous when, in this situation where he's there at one of the most significant events ever.
There'll probably be a miniseries where Peter Milligan writes him, and he's painting the smile on the Mona Lisa while Leonardo da Vinci is getting that sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know why he chose Peter Milligan. He's a fine writer.
Well, so is Brian K. Vaughan. But yeah, I agree with that part of it.
Mostly I'm just bitching because every time you try to make a bullshit joke about comic books,
it's
you
Peter
pull
Milligan.
Peter Milligan. Yeah,
he's my whipping boy.
Why?
Because he's fallen so far. I loved his stuff in the 90s. Loved it.
He's done a lot of good stuff in this decade too. Ecstatics.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Human Target.
I've never read Human Target.
You should.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is it the one? Did Marcus Martin draw that?
He may have done something with it. Javier Peludo, who is very similar. I think he did a lot of Human Target stuff.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Anyway.
But, yeah, I mean, I'd rather see him, I think the part of the character that works is the mystery.
Yeah.
And the fastball special. That's really cool,
that too, yeah.
But,
and the smoking cigarettes and
getting drunk.
Drinking beer.
Drinking tons of beer and then being sober an hour later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's why the kids love him.
He's got the claws.
He's got the claws.
Oh, he fucks shit up, goes snicked.
Yeah. Bub. Come on. Bub. Who calls people Bub anymore?
Canadians.
Yeah. Wow.
Canadians from the 1850s. Because that's where he's from.
They should have him murder Jack the Ripper in a miniseries.
Yeah. Fight Jack the Ripper, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tracking him down. He's in England. This is right around the time when he'd be, abroad.
Right.
Not...
He was a lady?
That's what I was about to say, but that was in the 30s.
Okay, yeah, before Prohibition.
Right. Before the war,
during
when he turned back
during-
into a man. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
was a
And,
tough
of
time.
course, he was there, significantly involved with Captain America. And, fucked with Black Widow when she was like 3 years old. And, yeah, the Wolverine's everywhere.
Oh, wow. He's got a checkered past it,
I know.
to say the least.
There's so many good stories we could tell about him in the past.
Yeah. When he was on the...
Like about the time when he was there at the atomic bomb dropping.
Oh, that was a good one. And when he came over in the Santa Maria.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
When he discovered America?
Wolverine Discovers America. 12-issue miniseries. Coming this summer. When they raise the flag, when they plant the flag on the moon, it says Schnicks. Because Wolverine was there. He was there.
No, you got that wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. It's when Neil Armstrong gets out of the capsule and steps foot onto the moon's surface. Wolverine's already there.
Yeah.
With a beer.
It's like, what took you so long, bub?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Because,
I love it.
And then they had to come back to Earth and fake it so that they wouldn't get Wolverine.
Get him out of the shot.
Yeah.
Some green screen stuff. I enjoyed it. Because I like stories with superheroes and love stories. I think it's a great combination.
I do when they're done well. And when they're not
bang.
the same as every other story that's been out for 30 years.
Homage? Homage, maybe? Homage?
Just poor.
Hmm.
Especially when you listen to our Chris Claremont episode, me spouting out the words like subtlety and stuff like that, storytelling. But, I think we can both safely say that Wolverine is Chris Claremont's baby.
Mm-hmm.
Without Claremont, there would be no Wolverine that we knew and loved as a kid.
Right.
And that everyone else who touched the character fucked him up. Because when you really think about it, Claremont hardly ever touched on Wolverine's past.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
he never really... Like, he would hint to things like, okay, well, he knew someone in the past, or, he's obviously been to Japan before.
Just enough to keep you interested, to give it a little mystery.
Right, and then, even though I kind of like the Weapon X story by Barry Windsor Smith,
Oh, yeah.
that was pretty much the beginning of the end. Because
Mm-hmm.
it was like at that point that everyone said, well, fuck it. Let's tell stories about Wolverine fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
Let's...
See, I can't remember. I mean, I know I've read I'd say most, if not all, of the Claremont run of X-Men. I can't remember if he ever really did much of that, like, specifically past stories.
Not specific. No.
Okay.
Like, he would just sort of hint at it, and when the hints were there, it was just sort of like, well, easily whatever is being referred to could have happened 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not 115 years ago.
Right.
Not ridiculous past.
Right.
But just like, like 10 years ago I was in high school, so I did some stuff, and I may allude to that here and now.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Not like, well, I was alive back in 1843, and I built the White House. Which I'm pretty sure is historically inaccurate.
It was 1843, 1844, right in there.
Okay.
In the summer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
But yeah, and this is just another one of those stories that it's just pointlessly in Wolverine's past, revealing more of his origins than we should ever need to see.
I wouldn't mind that as long as, like they just keep it in this and that's it. Like if that becomes like just another piece of his convoluted history and they add it into the continuity, then that'd be bad. But if this was just like the one Wolverine story I read this year and I don't read another one for 6 more years and they never referred to any of this, I'd be fine with that. I don't see any problem with putting him in a past situation as long as they don't all just add up to one horrible, confusing whole character.
But it will. Because
Yeah.
that's what the fanboys do.
Yeah.
And, I mean, This is the first Wolverine story I've read, and fuck knows. Honestly, I don't even remember the last time I read a Wolverine story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've read them in X-Men comics.
Right.
Like when Grant Morrison and Joss Whedon were writing them, but those weren't Wolverine stories. Mm-hmm. I did read Origins whenever that came out. 2001, 2002.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So that's 6 years ago, at least. I haven't read a solo Wolverine story since then. I can't say in the future that I will at this point, but yeah, as this standalone 3-issue Wolverine story, it's just disappointing. It was just more of the same crap that Marvel's been trying to feed us for years for no real reason other than look at us, we're crazy.
I thought it was good. It kind of reminded me of those. What are those Kurosawa movies? Like the kind of Lone Wolf and Cub kind of feel to them, like a
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh yeah, no. There was a. I forget. There's a couple old Kurosawa movies where it's just like some traveling guy and he's sort of, sort of a samurai.
Rashomon.
Oh, it wasn't that one,
okay.
But it kind of has that feel, and I like that with Wolverine. Like, he works good in a team of X-Men, because he's like so different from the rest of them. But every once in a while, I kind of like just a Wolverine in Japan story, and I didn't mind the whole history of it. Like, it is kind of goofy that he was there when the bomb dropped. I mean, that's just such a coincidence or whatever, but.
Ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah, or ridiculous bullshit. Sure. But I enjoyed it as just like a filler story that, hopefully, well, at least in my mind, it won't connect to anything else because like you said, I probably won't read another Wolverine story for years.
Right. So I gotta go back to the Claremont Frank Miller thing. And that was a great Wolverine story in Japan, and it also just happened to take place at that current point in time.
Yeah.
Didn't have to reveal anything about his past.
See, that would have been better. But I think he really wanted to have that bomb drop-in thing, so he had to sort of put it in there.
Yeah, I'm sure. And another thing that disappointed me is that in the back of the trade, there's he's got the script to the first issue, and he's got the plot outline for the entire series, and he's got this sort of manifesto about how he wants this book to be, considered part of the sort of evergreen Wolverine stories, like the Claremont Miller series or Weapon X or something like that. He wants, that was his goal with the series.
Okay. I didn't read the back stuff.
I didn't. That's pretty much the only part I read because I'm not going to read a script. That's retarded.
Yeah, I don't want to read a comic book script.
Yeah, if I'm not going to be drawing it anytime soon. Eduardo Risso already did the work.
Yeah,
Why should I?
Yeah, he did okay.
He did all right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do to improve on it. Yeah. But yeah, reading that and also even the plot outline though sounded a lot better than what was actually pulled off. Mm-hmm. So I think that added to the disappointment. Was that seeing potential in there and seeing what Vaughan wanted to achieve, but just missed it.
He just fell a little short, you think?
Yeah.
Well, he was probably too busy writing all everything else then.
Well, he only writes Ex Machina anymore.
And Lost, doesn't he?
Well, I don't care about that shit. Fucking Lost. Who gives a rat's ass?
So when did this
Not
come
even
out?
Lost fans like Lost anymore. What?
Was this,
last year?
Was it last year? Okay.
It's fairly recent.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I still like the story, but I see what you mean. I hope it doesn't just, just further the clogging up of the character of Wolverine. Mm-hmm. But it probably will.
Well, on the bright side, leading to what you're talking about, Brian K. Vaughan wrote it, and Eduardo Risso drew it. Mm-hmm. So it probably means that 90% of all Wolverine fans never read this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, this art's weird. This guy can't even draw.
Yeah. It's got like Wolverine making out with chicks, whatever.
If more superhero comics had art that I consider as sweet as this is, I would read a lot more superhero comics.
I read too many superhero comics, but if I didn't, I'd agree. I do think that there needs to be a lot more variety in superhero comics, and Eduardo Risso certainly lends to that. And it would be awesome to see more like that.
Shit the fuck, yeah.
But no, we just get the bad Kubert brothers.
Oh, man.
And everyone like them. J. Scott Campbell. And other crappy people.
I like J. Scott.
You're a terrible person with bad taste, as we've discovered in this episode since you liked this book.
I only like 2 Kuberts, though. Joe and the Atari game. That's it.
I'm nodding.
I like that play-by-play.
Yeah,
audio play-by-play.
Alright, we'll take a break.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yeah, I gotta pee.
Alright. Sounds like a good deal. See ya. No, we'll be back after this. Thanks.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me with a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, John, go do my will. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Well, you may throw your rock, hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down. Tell him that God's gonna cut you down.
All right now. Won't you listen?
Some Sabbath?
Oh, yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to you.
Yeah. You know, 55 minutes later, I don't think we introduced ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, fuck it.
Yeah, they should know by now.
Yeah. Of course, the new listeners, completely lost, but just remember, I'm the asshole.
And I'm the douchebag.
Yeah, we go.
I was thinking, I think you completely crushed my will on this one, because at the very beginning I was like, I loved it. Now I'm just kind of like, yeah.
I won!
Yeah.
Yes!
I enjoyed it. Yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah. By the way, I wanted to mention this. I thought it was... we have a retraction from last week's episode.
Do we?
Well, at least I do. I don't know, maybe I infer that the audience the listener is...
paying attention?
Or that they picked up something that maybe I didn't mean to put out. I was... When we watched Southland Tales...
I called Pat a faggot.
No, that's right. That's
okay.
That's
no, that's fine.
That's
okay.
not it. No. When we watched Southland Tales and the guy that was from The Princess Bride,
Yeah.
how he says something. There's some line.
Oh yeah, that's right. He
says preposterous.
Preposterous. He says inconceivable.
Yeah, and in the movie, and I was thinking about that on the way home. I was like, wait a minute. In Princess Bride, he says inconceivable.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that he actually said the same line in the movie.
I did too.
Okay, you did too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was fully behind that, and you're right. I found out later that it was not.
Yeah.
You're right. We owe the people an apology for that.
That's so weird. Why do we think that? I mean, I've seen that movie 20 times, I'm sure.
I think because the way he said it in Southland Tales was just like he said it in Princess Bride.
It's kind of a goofy word.
Yeah.
They're both goofy words.
They kind of mean the same thing.
He's like, preposterous.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Preposterous, inconceivable.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Maybe. What would Andre the Giant tell us?
If only he were still alive.
If only. We gotta do with it, Roddy Piper. Bastard.
So yeah, okay. That's it.
Alright, so I got you to hate the book, and we were idiots about Southland Tales.
Anything else exciting?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my god, I've been sitting on this story for 5 days now.
Really? Okay.
Oh man.
Is this a neighbor story?
No. They've actually been behaving somewhat.
Really? Congratulations to the neighbors.
Oh yeah, I still hope they get kicked out. I hate them a lot. I saw a pimp yesterday going upstairs, so.
Really?
Anyway, yeah. And then
Picking up his bitches, or just...
I don't know. Just making a lot of noise and really pissing me off. And I left like 20 minutes later, and I haven't heard
That's kind of standard pimp behavior.
I hate them. Anyway, no, not my neighbors, but did happen here in this localized area.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Thursday, went to Mavericks, picked up some comics, avoided a creepy guy, picked up some food, came back to my apartment. I was coming down the other way, so where I would have to make a left turn into my parking lot.
Okay.
At the intersection on Patterson and Norton, there was a cop car stopped in the middle of it, and a cop was standing outside of it. And I said, well, that's weird, as I'm trying to pull into my driveway. There is a woman laying down on the devil strip.
Oh, nice. The little grassy thing between the sidewalk and the street.
Yes.
Okay. Of course. Well, I know that.
Of course.
I'm from Ohio.
Yes. Okay, so this cop is standing in the middle of the street with his car, basically blocking a lane of traffic in the middle of the intersection. And he is talking to this woman laying down on the grass. So, I pull in, I was like, well, this is weird. I park my car, I get out, and I'm thinking, why the fuck would I go sit in my house when this is happening right outside?
Yeah. You're like, I've got Barney Miller on DVD, but this could be slightly more entertaining.
Right. So, I sit down on the steps in front of my apartment, and I'm just watching. I can't really hear what's going on, but the cop is talking to this woman. Occasionally he, laughs. And I'm like, well, that's odd,
Yeah. That's a good sign.
Yeah. So about a couple minutes later, second cop car pulls in and, parks, in that, side of the parking lot, in front of the dentist's office.
Okay.
And he gets out of the car, and so now there's two cops standing and talking to this woman laying on the grass. And occasionally both of the cops just kind of laugh, and they just kind of look at each other just crazy. I'm like, oh man, this is just so bizarre. And then a third cop pulls up next to the second cop car. Guy gets out. And this time, they have now formed sort of a triangle around this woman.
Uh-huh.
Cop number 2 starts picking up the woman's stuff. She's got a bag from Dots, which is the grocery store across the street.
Uh-huh.
And she's got like a knapsack. He starts going through the knapsack, and he pulls out a giant bottle of vodka, in which he unscrews the cap and then dumps it out onto the grass.
Nice. On the devil strip?
On the devil strip.
Yeah.
And closes the bottle back up, puts it back in the bag, goes through like her grocery bag and like pulls some items out and puts that in the knapsack. The woman has now fully splayed out on the grass on her back. Like before she was just sort of laying down but like leaning on one side.
Oh, okay.
Now she's completely flat on her back.
Having watched her vodka pour out.
Right. The third cop number 3, gets behind her, lifts her up by the arms, throws her on the back of his squad car, and cuffs her.
Seems like a drastic change of emotional.
The cops are still laughing.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was hoping somebody was still having a good time.
Oh, yeah. The woman kind of falls from her position bent over the back of the car. So the third cop is like scrambling to try to get her back up. Cop number 2 is like buckling her knapsack back up and just watching and laughing. And cop number 1 is kind of supporting cop 3, but not really doing anything yet. Cop 3 then opens up the back door to his squad car and like does the whole like pushes her head down to get her in the back seat.
Oh, yeah.
She falls completely again.
On the pavement?
Yeah. And then he stands up and all 3 cops are just like, ha ha ha, crazy stuff. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, oh my god. So cop number 1 goes around to the passenger side of cop number 3's car and opens the back door, leans in, and reaches for the woman while cop 3
slides her in. This is, wow.
So they get her in there. She's screaming by this point. They're still just laughing it up. Close the doors. Cop number 2 puts the knapsack in cop 3's passenger side. And then... and then the 3 cops kind of talk for a while, and they're just kind of shaking their heads, and like I think I see one of them like sort of like grab like the bridge of his nose, you know, and like, you know, close his eyes and just shake his head, you know, and just like in disbelief over whatever's happened.
She's probably trashed, right?
Oh, most likely.
Oh, yeah. And this is probably, what, 6 p.m.? You
About 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of early.
Yeah.
It's a little early to be trashed.
Yeah. So, Cop 3 gets in the car and drives off. Cop 2 and Cop 1 sort of like stand and talk to each other for a few minutes. And Cop 1 goes back to his car, which is still in the middle of the intersection of Patterson.
Oh, yeah, why is that?
I don't know. And like he stops like traffic so that he can get into his car.
That's some power. I'd love to have that.
Yeah. And then he drives off. Cop 2 gets in his car and drives to the exit of my parking lot and then just like sits there for 10-15 minutes. And then eventually drives off.
Doing the paperwork.
I guess, yeah. I'm sitting there like this whole time thinking, this is like watching an episode of Cops when they have like one of the funny things happening.
Yeah.
But like I can't tell what's funny about it. But the cops obviously think it's hilarious.
It's like watching it in Blu-ray too because you're there.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
And like I had just gotten a burrito, so I was like eating my burrito and watching this all happen in front of my house.
Dinner in a movie.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you would have approached the cop and like talked to him. Do they hate that, or would they love telling that story?
Oh, I don't know, because like I thought about it.
All right.
Like when I pulled in, I was like, man, I kind of want to go talk to that guy and say, hey, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, like, especially after they got her in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I wonder if you walked up and, like, if they'd be like, oh, man, listen to this, buddy. Or if they'd be like, oh, carry on, citizen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have found out what
Right.
the hell happened. Like how, because, I mean, just like glancing on the scene, like as I first got there, it was just like, this woman is just lying on the grass, and this cop has basically stopped and blocked traffic.
Right.
You know, how did this happen?
Yeah, I'm guessing she was stumbling in the middle of the road.
I don't know.
Yeah, fell in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I do not know. Wow. And like some of her groceries is actually like still sitting out there. Like there was a loaf of bread and
Really?
yeah. Don't eat the bread.
Well, can we feed it to the ducks or something?
If there were ducks here, sure.
There's some ducks behind my work.
There you go.
Yeah.
It felt good to talk about
That's
that
awesome.
finally.
So she was a younger lady, older lady?
Oh, she's probably like 60.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was picturing some 30-year-old lady with, like a jean jacket and...
No, she was like 60 wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt with like
Really?
some sort of crazy slogan written on it.
That's
She didn't have
even
any teeth. And
That's even better.
yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they were enjoying it so much. Like, the senior citizen is drunk at, before Wheel of Fortune comes on. That's amazing.
Actually in the middle of Wheel of Fortune.
Wow. That's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. That's me in 40 years. After my sex change operation.
Yeah.
Just going to be drunk in front of your apartment in the middle of the day.
Nice.
Waiting to do the podcast.
So not too much different from now.
Yeah.
Just that you've had the sex change.
Yeah. That's a go. Post-op.
Alright.
Good story.
Any cool things you got going on?
Nothing.
Nothing
cool.
Yeah.
I'm full of
we got a big bowling tournament coming up.
Oh, yeah, we got tomorrow night.
Yeah, not
Map-
tomorrow.
Yeah?
Tuesday.
Today's Sunday. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tuesday. Wow, okay, cool. I have a whole other day to prepare.
Warm up, do some squat thrusts and some other weightlifting terms I can't think of at the moment because I'm incredibly lazy and unathletic.
Hey, you bowl.
I bowl.
That's an athlete.
I
We
go
have
for the lightest ball that I can find, right?
We sell bowling cards at my work, like baseball cards, only boulders. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And there's autographed ones you can get if you're lucky.
Is there like variant cards with like a piece of the bowling pin?
Ooh, that'd be cool. Or like
because there are like baseball cards with like a sliver of the bat.
Oh yeah, there's some ridiculous ones with the pitcher's mound. There's some dirt inside of some cards.
Yeah, or like a piece of the base,
or the seat.
Or a jersey, which is actually less ridiculous than any of the other things we've mentioned.
I think that's where it started.
It started with that.
And now they're like when they tear down stadiums, they put like pieces of the seats and the floor.
Yeah.
They took a piece of a basketball court. They took down. They put floor cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's any of that. I think there's autographs, but there's no like piece of the lane or like his bowling shoe. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Piece of the shoe.
You know, you have been doing this bowling night thing longer than I've been joining in.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been joining you for about a month and a half by now. I have started seriously thinking about buying my own pair of bowling shoes and maybe like a brace for my wrist because I have really bad carpal tunnel.
All right.
So I priced bowling shoes the other day.
Really?
The cheapest I could find was about $30.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And the most expensive one I found was like $250.
They had like rhinestones and...
No. Apparently, real bowlers, not us, depending on like what hand they use to bowl with, they favor like a foot or something like that. And so they have special shoes in which like one shoe will have like no tread and the other shoe will have tread.
Wow.
So that they can slide and control the slide.
That's amazing.
So there are shoes like that, and there are shoes where like you can basically swap out the left for the right.
Really?
Yeah.
And
like the soles.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, and those are like your $150, $200 shoes.
And that $30 one are like the ones that we wear at the bowling.
Basically, they kind of they just look like standard tennis shoes, really, which is kind of awesome. They don't have that multicolored, shiny.
Right.
Somebody's giving me some sort of disease through the shoe,
which just happened to me. That's the only bowling accoutrement I want to buy is the shoes, and it's not so I can have my own, or it's because I don't want to get foot fungus again.
Right.
I got it once from bowling.
Pat, who has been with us the past 2 weeks, has not worn socks.
Brave man.
Holy Christ.
And he doesn't mean to. He shows up without his socks and...
How do you do that?
Yeah,
how do you...
at a bowling alley.
How do you mean to not wear socks? Here?
It's like showing up for your skydiving lesson and, you
forgot my parachute.
I don't really need that. Yeah.
It's like, I've got a date with the biggest whore on the island. I forgot my condoms.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm just going to do it anyway. He's either really brave or...
an idiot.
I could not say that.
I did.
Oh. He's brave.
And you agreed. But you're not denying of it.
I would never. No. I would never bowl without socks. That's what I would never do. But.
I would never either. Man. Like, every time I go, I try to make sure that I'm wearing like the thickest socks I own.
Sometimes I've worn 2 pairs of socks after that whole, because it's gross. I mean, I've showered with, ladies. I've not bathed for a week at a time. I've done all kinds of things where there's a possibility of getting foot fungus. But bowling,
showering with ladies will give you foot fungus.
Well, the kind of ladies I'm with.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's so gross. I mean, I went 30 years without getting athlete's foot until I bowled once, and it is so nasty.
Oh, man.
I had to wash my feet like twice a day and put this weird cream on it. I kept having to buy the cream. I went to Kroger. It's in these tiny little tubes at our local grocery.
Like a gram.
Yeah, it's like enough to squirt between 2 of your toes. But they had them on sale for $1, and I could use them for like a day or two, and then the tube was gone.
Yeah.
And I kept going back, and I ended up buying like 4 or 5 of these tubes, and then I went back to get one more last tube, because it was still a little yellowy with the feet, kind of gross.
Yeah.
And they had raised the price by like $3 a tube.
Holy Christ.
I know. It was $1, and then all of a sudden it's $4, and I was like... It's like they're on to me. They get him hooked, It's like that old game.
Yeah, you should have bought 10 of them in like one shot.
Well, I was like, maybe it'll clear up after a day.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll just glaze them on and.
Yeah, when you take penicillin, you usually have to take the whole bottle before you're safe.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You get a day of antifungal cream, ain't gonna cut it.
I know. I guess I was hoping it was some powerful shit.
Well, I understand.
But yeah, I might get some bowling shoes. Or, I was thinking also, I might just get a pair at the thrift store, which, you would think like, well, that's not going to help your problem. But I was thinking about just cutting the bottoms off of them and like attaching them to a pair of regular gym shoes. Would that be cool? Would that work?
I guess if you can sew that well.
I can sew.
Are you a cobbler?
I can sew,
Can you
buddy.
cobble?
Is that a pie thing? I don't know what that means.
That's a shoe thing.
Oh, no, like Geppetto from Pinocchio?
More like those old Warner Brother cartoons where like the old shoemaker would go to sleep and little goblins would come out and make his shoes for him.
Okay.
And save his business.
Okay.
That's what
I can't cobble then.
No, yeah.
I can sew, but only like
maybe just
holes in my pants.
Save up $30 and buy a pair. Here.
I'll have to do this. I'll have to do this thing that you speak of.
Or maybe, one of these days we can actually get to the bowling alley before they close the pro shop and just check out what they've got in there.
Oh, they sell them there, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But every time we've gone, they have closed far before we're there.
We're night owls.
Oh, yes, we are.
We live under the moonlight.
That we do. I am really a night owl. I hate the day. Any kind of daylight sunshine I'm against.
I'm all about both. I like the both. I wish I could never sleep. I wish that if I could have a superpower, it would be that.
Well, okay, I'll admit that I'm all right with the daytime, but just after noon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before noon,
12.
I really don't want to deal with anything.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, I have a real job.
You're up way before noon.
Yeah, I'm up before dawn.
You're up in like 5 hours from now, I believe.
Yeah, I can't tell what time it is. It was only like 11 when we took our break.
Mm.
So. But anyway. So, let's go ahead and wrap this fucker up.
Yes.
Unless you got anything.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I never have anything.
So, next pick is a movie, and it's my pick.
Yeah.
Alright, I was originally going to pick Star Trek, which just came out this past weekend.
But we nerded out and saw it already.
Yep. And for the record, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. Good times.
My second pick, once again, not available in this area. I was going to pick Anvil, the story of Anvil.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Apparently it opened in Cincinnati and Columbus this past weekend.
Mm.
But I don't really feel like taking a trip to either of those places just to see a movie for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does look good.
Yeah. So I just relied on my old trusty Netflix queue.
Yeah. That's what it's there for.
Yes, it is. The movie I'm picking is... I'm probably going to get the name wrong. Well, to ensure that I get it right at least somewhat closely, I'll give the two names that I think it might be.
Okay.
It's either The Long Goodbye or The Long Good Night.
It's not that Sam Jackson, Gina Davis thing.
No, that is The Long Kissed Goodnight
Oh,
or
okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Last Kiss Goodnight or something like that.
Mm. The Long Good Night. Or
Yeah.
The Long Goodbye or something.
Right.
Okay.
It's from the 70s. It's got Elliot Gould as Philip Marlowe, the famous literary detective.
Oh, okay.
Crime noir kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting pick.
Yeah. So, hopefully, whenever my next batch of Netflix movies come in, that'll be among them.
Sweet. I'm excited.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, Long Kiss or not. Fuck you. Asshole.
So you can just edit out whichever one's wrong. In post.
Yeah.
In post.
Just work.
Yeah. We're watching a movie.
Huh?
We're just watching a movie.
We're watching a movie, and it's either called The Long Goodbye or The Long Good Night.
Yeah.
And we'll most likely have the right title by the time we review it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I do know that Elliot Gould's in it, and that's pretty much all we need.
That's all you need to know.
Okay. Alright, so let's take off. Watch some Barney Miller.
I'll watch some Barney Miller with you.
Fuck yeah.
I haven't seen it since I was probably 11, 10-ish.
Yeah.
10-ish, yeah.
I watched some yesterday, so I don't have a similar story.
Nope.
Alright.
Well, good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Gutter Trash can be downloaded at www.guttertrash.net, iTunes, Podcast Alley, and Feedburner. You can also find us at myspace.com/guttertrash_net, seanborn.net, and buyerbewarecomics.blogspot.com. Contact us at eric@guttertrash.net or jason@guttertrash.net. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. We'll see you next time.